my channel. If it's your first time landing on one of my videos, welcome. My name is Stasia and my channel is all about health and weight loss content following a whole food plant-based diet. So I think it was about a week ago or a week and a half ago or so, I put out a video where I shared my story about how I lost 65 pounds as well as reversing a horrible, nasty illness that kept me really sick for about 2 years. If you haven't had a chance to see that video, don't worry about it. I will have it linked in my description box below. It's quite a testimony and a powerful story of how healing a whole food plant-based diet can be. And even more recently, I've just put out a video sharing exactly what I've been doing to lose an additional 5 pounds. So if you haven't seen that, I would recommend checking that out. Let's just say that it involves a lot of soup. That one will also be linked in my description box below. So after this video, feel free to check it out. Oh, also, I just wanted to mention, since being back to YouTube, I've had a lot of you guys asking about my weight loss recipe ebook because it was temporarily unavailable, but it is good to go now. So I will have the link to my ebook in the description box below if you guys want to grab a copy. And since putting out those videos, I've had a lot of people asking me specifically what I'm eating now. So in addition to the preloading or the soup, what other things I'm eating. So today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 foods that I'm currently eating on rotation, and of course that fall under 600 calories per pound. And for those of you who might be new to this lifestyle, you might be wondering what the heck are foods 600 calories per pound and under, like what does that even mean? Well, great question. When we choose to use calorie density as a tool for weight loss, what that basically means is that we're choosing to eat foods that are lower in calories per pound. Okay, well, why would that matter? Well, typically speaking, we all eat about the same weight of food every single day. It usually falls somewhere in the ballpark of 3 to 4 pounds of food. So instead of eating, let's say, 4 pounds of higher calorie dense foods, you can still eat 4 pounds of food of lower calorie dense foods, which are going to put you in a calorie deficit, which we need to lose weight, without feeling crazy, without feeling starved, and by putting some of the most nutritious, healthy foods in your body. So I just grabbed a calorie density chart online. I will reference where I grabbed that from in my description box below, but I just wanted you guys to see really quickly, especially for those visual learners, exactly what I'm talking about. So the way to lose weight is by eating foods that fall under the 600 calories or less side of the chart. So as you can see, that includes vegetables, fruit, whole grains, legumes, potatoes. There's a lot of choices to choose from. And just to give you an example, like an everyday type of example, imagine a fast food burger. So a fast food burger, they probably run somewhere between like 500, 600 calories and up. And really, do you ever see anyone order just the burger? There's usually fries and a drink or whatever else to go with that. So let's not even talk about how many calories in one sitting you could be consuming, but let's just use the burger alone as the example for comparison today. So instead of having one burger, you could replace that with 5 pounds of vegetables. Can we just think about that for a second? What 5 pounds of vegetables would look like? Good luck getting through that salad. Comparatively, you'd also be able to swap out that burger for about 2 pounds of fresh fruit. Again, that's a ton of fruit. So as you can see, between the fruits and the vegetables, they're gonna fill your stomach so much more than just that one little burger could ever fill you for the exact same caloric buck. Not to mention a world's difference as far as nutrition goes. There is a lot more to calorie density, but I just wanted to share with you in a nutshell basically what it is and just how much easier it is to use calorie density as a tool for weight loss versus even counting every single calorie from every single bite of food you put in your mouth. It's just so much easier. Stick to foods, 600 calories per pound or less, and you're golden. So with that being said, I'm going to jump into my top 5 favorite foods that I'm currently eating on rotation. Now, that constantly changes for me, as you can probably imagine. You get sick of foods after a while after eating the same things. But for right now, just because I am really hyper-focused on weight loss and my health goals, I'm really just trying to simplify everything by kind of eating on repeat. The best way to do that is to pick your favorite foods to include in that rotation. Never force yourself to eat something that you really, really just hate, because that's kind of a sure way to set yourself up for failure. So I always stress that it's important to find foods that you love, even if it's just a handful of them. Stick to those ones and then slowly start to introduce yourself to new ones. Sometimes it's just a matter of how things are prepared. So don't be afraid, have fun in the kitchen, experiment, and you might end up surprising yourself. So the first food that I am loving right now, but they are just so bloody expensive in the store, are sweet potatoes. Now I know a lot of you guys are diehard fans for the purple potatoes. I forgot what they're called. The Japanese potatoes, I think. Let me know in the comments because I totally forget what they're called at the moment. I know a lot of you love them though because they're a little bit more cakey and a little bit more sweet. I have had them before, only a handful of times. I thought that they were really good, but honestly, I just love my good old-fashioned sweet potatoes. Now, most of you know I have a little bit of a sweet tooth, so if you have a sweet tooth, listen to how I make them. I just put them in the oven and I like to cook them slowly. I don't love them as much in the Instant Pot. I feel that the sweetness like totally evaporates or something when they're cooked in the Instant Pot. So I just put them on a cooking sheet and I put them in the oven about 350, and they take probably about an hour or so to cook, or maybe just under. About halfway through, I start poking my fork to create a ton of holes in them. This is the secret. A ton of holes need to be in them, not just a few to release the air or whatever. A ton of holes have to be poked to release those sugars. That is my secret. When you cook them slow and there's a ton of holes, the sugar just like oozes out of them. So by the time they are ready, not only are they super soft, very, very, very moist, they are so, so sweet when cooked this way. Also, when you're buying them, don't buy the gigantic, really thick, really oval style round ones, or even the circular ones. I've seen them come in all kinds of shapes. Make sure you look for the long, skinny ones. Those are always the sweetest ones. So I will be at the store rummaging through those sweet potatoes, looking for the best skinny long ones. They're always, always the sweetest. I love me some sweet potatoes because they're sweet, because they fill me up, and because they just sit right in my stomach. I feel like sweet potatoes are awesome for anybody who has digestive issues, which, as most of you know, that I had some serious digestive issues before. They are so gentle on the stomach, and I just feel that there doesn't really need to be a lot done to them. And in comparison to regular potatoes, they're a lot more moist for me. I feel with regular potatoes, I do love them, but I always feel like I have to have some kind of sauce or dip on the side with them to really enjoy them. Whereas sweet potatoes, I can eat them kind of as is. Well, at least the way I make them, I can eat them as is and enjoy them immensely. So my question is, are you a sweet potato lover or are you a regular potato lover? I bet I know the answer to the majority of you, but leave it in my comments below. Say potato or sweet potato, and we'll see who wins this debate. Okay, so sweet potatoes was the first starchy food that I'm eating a lot of right now. The second one I'm eating are beans. And you guys know I'm a super fan of beans. I talk about them probably just as much as I talk about soup on this channel, but I can't help it. I love them. I just find them so versatile. I use them in many, many different ways. And I just feel that they are the one food that keeps me fullest the longest. Again, I know a lot of people have the debate that potatoes are like the number one because yes, I know that there was a study done and they proved to provide the most satiety, the feeling of being full and being satisfied. But for me, I'm telling you, beans do it for me. They keep me full for hours on end. So I always try to include beans somewhere in my day. I've been eating a lot of starchy smoothies with beans. That's a favorite of my kids, and it's just a really easy go-to if I'm in a rush or if I'm leaving. It's easy to bring with me, and I've been eating a lot of tacos, a lot of like bean mashes where I just kind of, pile some beans on a plate and add some veggies on top of it and call it a day. And seriously, sometimes I eat beans just as is. My daughter eats them like that too. I love how they come out in the Instant Pot. I just feel that they are super soft, really, really delicious. It's a huge difference compared to canned beans. I know canned beans are more convenient, but the way I do my beans is I just kind of do a huge batch at once, and then whatever's left over, I throw in my freezer. So I either use that for smoothies or I use it just to take out, defrost, and turn into a meal. So beans are my second starchy food that I am on high rotation every single week. Now, the third starchy food that I've been eating is not technically a whole food. Okay, for 1 second, let's just talk about what whole food even means. Whole food to me means it's one ingredient. It is the only ingredient when you're eating whole foods. Anything that has 2 ingredients or more automatically is no longer a whole food. It's been processed to some degree. It does not grow wild in nature. So anything that is a true whole food is just one ingredient. If you can even call it an ingredient, it's just the food itself, nothing else added. So when it comes to things like rice noodles or rice paper, it's not exactly a whole food because there has been minimal processing done to it. However, it still is just the one ingredient. So for me, one of those foods are rice noodles. Now, probably not the best option. I'm sure someone would tell me that brown rice is going to be a lot better for me, and they would be right. But like I said, there's also the other side of really enjoying your food. And for me, I really enjoy a great stir fry, and it's a great way for me to get in a ton of vegetables with a little bit of rice noodles. The only ingredient in those rice noodles are rice. So I'm still good that way, but it's just one of, honestly, my favorite meals. I can whip it up in just no time because the noodles themselves take like 5 minutes to make. And then when I already have a huge pan of vegetables ready to go, or even if I don't, the vegetables honestly only take about 5 to 7 minutes to cook too. And it's an entire meal in under 10 minutes. I do like rice, and I do eat rice from time to time as well. But again, for now, I've just been really loving these rice noodle bowls. Again, just a great way for me to get in those veggies. And also, I just really enjoy it. Okay, so for the next food that I've basically been putting the store out of business because I buy it so much is just a huge bag of coleslaw. Coleslaw is my secret weapon, you guys. Like, I cannot even stress this one. First of all, it holds up really well. It's not like bags or boxes of the mixed greens and stuff like that can go bad really quickly. Coleslaw, because it's just cabbage, it's a cabbage blend, it holds up so well in the fridge. I get really tired of buying the mixed greens and stuff like that, and within a couple of days, sometimes they've gone bad. So I'm a huge fan of how well the coleslaw holds up. That's the first thing. The second thing is it can be used for hot or cold meals. So what I mean by that is I will just dump that bag into a preheated pan with a little bit of either water, or sometimes I mix water and soy sauce and maybe just a tiny bit of maple syrup, and line the pan with that, get it really nice and hot. And then I just dump the bag right in the pan and I just steam the veggies, steam the cabbage for just a few minutes. And I've got myself a huge side of non-starchy veggies. The other way that I use it is as a salad. So I make a huge salad every single week out of these bags, and I just love how easy it is because salads can be really time consuming. Sometimes if I don't even have a salad made, I will just throw a couple handfuls of that on the side with a dressing and I'm good to go. There's my non-starchy veggies. So it is just super easy, super fast, and it does such a great job at bulking up any meal at only 100 calories per pound. Okay, so lastly, I love using frozen vegetables. So whether that be frozen broccoli or whether that's the California mix I think I use, just the cauliflower, broccoli, and carrot mix, super simple. Frozen vegetables should be your best friend. They are super budget friendly and they are just so easy to prepare. You can steam them, you can roast them, they're excellent for soups. They are just the perfect non-starchy vegetable. So when I go to the store, I'm always buying frozen vegetables and my huge bag of coleslaw for my non-starchy veggies. Because vegetables do fall as being the lowest calorie density foods, it is worth noting that you certainly cannot exist on just vegetables alone. They are actually far too low in calories for anyone to exist. You will hurt yourself, mess up your metabolism, and quite possibly become ill trying to live off of just those alone. So I would not recommend that. But they do make an excellent filler for meals to dilute the overall calories of your entire meal. And that right there is basically the magic of calorie density, that you can eat more, you can still feel full, you're not starving yourself because you're eating high volume with foods that are lower in calories per pound. Calorie density is an easy, amazing weight loss tool, especially if you're someone who is health conscious or trying to become more healthy, because it naturally pushes us to eat healthier foods as long as you're eating foods that are 600 calories per pound or less. So it's a win-win. You lose weight and you get healthier. All right, guys, so that's it for today. However, I do want to mention that my next video, I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how much I'm eating. Now, again, this is going to vary for each person because all of our bodies require different needs. But if you are interested in seeing kind of my portion sizes, my sequencing of the foods, then be sure to subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss that video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. That goes out to all of my day one followers as well as all my new followers. I love having you guys along for my health and weight loss journey. Until the next one.